February 1st. Garden tour time, but I'm gonna have to do this quick because I see weed whackers showing up, and they've been doing this all week due to all the rain. But let me just start this off. I'm showing you up there. The Cooper hawk has come back. I've seen the male, and he's bringing other birds there, probably females, to show them, look at my beautiful nest I made. Remember, he lost his female last year when somebody let loose a bunch of raccoons, and they went up there and they killed her and the babies. So anyways, the good news is I think he's in the hunt for another mate. I don't see him right now, but he came yesterday while I was working out here, screaming and screaming, almost like he wanted me to see him. And I looked up, I said, "Oh, you're back." And he screamed. When I stopped talking to him, he stopped, but he was bringing other birds. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let's do this quick because they're gonna start, and then this goes on all day, and it's been going on for days. See the hillsides? Well, you can't really see here, but see here, it's all green. It looks beautiful, but like I always talk about, here in Southern California, we can't leave that. I don't think you can leave it anywhere in California. You have to remove all wild native grasses, which is weeds. Well, the weeds are what hummingbirds, insects, all wildlife need. The deer come in, they forage on that, but unfortunately, that is the law due to fire danger. So you get rain, everybody's happy, you get weeds, then they got to call everybody in, get crews in, and, well, mow it all out and take it all down. But then again, that's why I feed the wildlife around here, because they don't have enough. Anyways, let's get back to this because I'm really excited. Spring is almost here and I'm doing a lot, but you can't see it. Haven't touched this any more than starting to pull out what I don't want. And I'm really thinking of leveling it all. See, I've got a lot of celery growing in here on its own, but I don't want to do that. So the main thing is everything looks good. Everything's standing. This is going to be, 3 years now for this. And that's fantastic. And I'll get this all set up. I'll probably take all these stakes out and start over. Truck bed, I've got different ideas for it. And can you believe it's still growing squash? Look at the new growth on this. But I'm going to change things up this year. It's too hard to get in, and I kind of like it. It's been here since we, got this property. So we're going to leave it. I like the truck bed, but I am going to change it up, but not now. There's nothing to change up. Haven't done anything with the ponds, but look at my meadow, stayed nice and green all year. And it's nice to know that the animals love it. I always see rabbits. Let's kind of zip through here because there is a project I'm working on here that I will be doing a video on because I think you're going to go crazy when you see it because I'm going crazy. But nothing's been done, as you can see. Now, when you see a lot of growth, that's kind of like, well, this is actually weed. Let's walk over here. This is sow thistle, and this is really big for the environment, for bees, for birds, for everything. And it goes in stages. It starts with the leaves that the birds eat. They're real green in the beginning. Then it goes into the flowers. This is the yellow stage. Isn't that beautiful? And then it goes into the little puffballs, which has seed, but this is what the hummingbirds use to build nests. And as you can see, these flowers will be turning into puffballs, and the hummingbirds will start building nests. Unfortunately, they can't find a lot because all the hillsides are cleared. All right. Everything, as I was saying here, this has been underwater, so I have to be careful, even with all the rains. We get sunny days like today, and then all of a sudden, the next day it pours. And the ground is just so saturated. Now, everything you see that I don't want, and most of it I don't want, but I'm keeping the eggplant because we're still getting eggplant. Look at that. We've been getting more flowers back there. So by covering it, I protected it, and it kept growing. Peppers, too. Kept getting peppers all winter. I've got green ones down here. Look at this. You see that? Isn't that beautiful? And then, of course, the black cobras keep going. But all the other stuff is gold. This is all gold to me. Because even if I don't want to use it and keep it to grow, it's my soil. Some of you have asked me, how long do you wait till you plant in it when I put everything back into the totes? I don't wait. Does Mother Nature wait? Does she tell the trees above when you're dropping things, don't grow under there? Look at all the plants growing under there. Got to wait till the leaves break down. I don't wait. It goes in and that's it. That's one of the only tomato plants that really made it. There's one other one. Nice sized tomatoes, had tomatoes all winter. But we've had so much really cold weather that this year, pretty much, see that one? It wiped them all out. Normally, we have tomato plants all through the winter. But when our nights get down into the 30s, it's just too cold for a lot of the variety of tomatoes I have here. Even though they were, I'm going to call them wild, they came up as volunteers. A lot of them didn't make it, but that one did. And it's growing on the top. It's a poor specimen, but look at all the tomatoes. I can already see a good dozen tomatoes still on there. And they're bigger than cherry tomatoes. They're a little bit bigger. Green sorrel. So the thing is, I don't wait at all. So all this will be gutted. It will go right back in its own container, or it will go in another container that I need a plant in. So we'll see how it goes. But you know what? Spring's almost here, and I'm excited to start getting all this done. All right, let's go in the front yard. So this is the front yard. It's exactly the same what it was for the past couple months. But you know what? Look, some of the brassicas are still doing fantastic. I've got parsley on the end there. The finger lime is doing great, but I've got an issue with the roots. So we're going to figure out something. I'm probably just going to get some plastic under here because the roots from these pine trees get into that pot. And then we have to break it away. That plant really needs a good refurbishing. Remove some of the soil, put fresh soil in, and then get something underneath so they don't try to invade again the roots. But all in all, look how green it looks. I haven't done a single thing. Look at this. I'm not going to take this out. I'm actually going to clean this up a little bit. That geranium was in a coffee pot, and it was supposed to be moved into my bird garden. Look at that. Purple tree collar fell down. It's going to go up the tree. So I guess it's not right now going to go into the bird garden. It's going to have to be left there, or I'll take pieces from it and do more cuttings. This is all cuttings. All these different geraniums are cuttings. So that's it for the front yard. Nothing different. Isn't that pretty? Just buying a geranium one time, you've got geraniums everywhere. If a branch falls and hits some damp soil, it will grow. And that one too. That was a cutting, and that one can be moved into my bird garden. So that will work out really good. All right, coming down here, Gary was going to finish this project, but he's been working on the landing. I'll have to talk about where has Gary been? He's been doing all kinds of projects before spring comes in. So that's what he wants to do. So he's going to get to this later. There's nothing new in the hidden garden. So we'll look at that another time separately. But this is what I want to look at. I've been already harvesting. What I do is I just reach in there, take what I want, and go for it. But I do have to go through and dump this all. That's coming, to be honest. It has been so cold that to come out here and do all this, it just, I can find warmer places to work. But I do need to do it because if I wait too long, and I have checked him, I could lose my turmeric and ginger due to the damp coldness. So I'm going to get into this really soon. I've done one already completely, and I want to redo the whole thing so it is ready to go and grow. That's what I want to do. That's my goal. So I take it all out. I will store the turmeric and ginger, use as we need, and then when I come out here, let's say maybe April, when I know the weather's going to start to warm a little bit, I'll get them all planted, the ones I want to plant. I will freeze what I want to freeze, and of course, we'll eat what we want to eat. Okay, let's go into the bird garden. I think this is beautiful. I just think it's gorgeous. Look how green it is. And boy, do those green tree colors taste good. They make the greatest coleslaw. It tastes good in everything. You can use it as a wrap if you want to steam them. You can chop them up and saute them with a little butter and garlic. They are fantastic. And they're growing so good because they love this cold weather. Not me, but they love it. Look at this. It's going to have to be trimmed down because it's actually being held up by that chair. Then I've got a new one that broke. You saw that probably a little while ago. Look at that. Just a piece broke and fell down there and grew. That's a new one. See, this is broke. Look at this. There's a beautiful plant itself to take off and regrow. So I will be doing this soon, but no hurry, no hurry. Dragon fruit, there's still some dragon fruit here and there. Gary picked one yesterday and we had it yesterday, last night after dinner. It's going gorgeous. And I'm now growing dragon fruit from seed. So if you're interested, boy, do I have a story for you on that. But that's for another time. Yes, I've got dragon fruit growing from seed. Though you can do cuttings, it's a special one. and it's a yellow one, and it's sweet like honey, so I'm hoping to get that established. We'll see what happens. Remember this I took out and I moved it? It was growing in these old totes that are about 7 years old. It was over there and it was leaning on the end there. It's doing great. I still don't know if I'm going to pull this out or not. I really should, and plant new broccoli and freshen up these. See the lemon verbena? That's all died back for the winter, and it will come back soon. I'll trim that back. I think I will give it a good trimming. But yes, you saw me move it, and it's doing fantastic. So I'm really pleased with that. I like having them in pots. I moved the pot and all in there. And then I've just got flowers growing in there. We'll get to that in a minute. This is my pride and joy. I don't know what to call it. It's that cross. Look how beautiful. You can't buy this plant. This is a giant dinosaur kale, but it's not. It's mixed with collard. I do believe it's got something else in there, dazzling blue kale, because periodically it turns purple. But isn't that gorgeous? I've been eating more of that than anything. I take it in, I make a green drink. I use it for everything, stir fry. I even put it in salads right now if I'm making a salad, because it's so sweet and wonderful. Let's keep going. Let's go in here. Little by little, I'm working on this right now. As the weather changes, I'll work more, but I got rid of this table. I looked at this white table, and though I do like my white table, and it may not look that good, that shelters the bird food when I put a plate underneath for the seed. But I want to change this up, and I'll give them other different shelters as time goes on. But look at that. It's like a little jungle when you walk in here. Look. Isn't this like a jungle? You may hear in the background the weed whackers are all starting. Look at that. And these leaves, not only do they look gold and purple, they're gold because that is my soil. Isn't that gorgeous? I've got roses growing through here. See all this? I got to take all this off. Sometimes when I'm walking through and I don't know what to do with it, I simply just drop it in another pot. That pot is growing this beautiful tree collard here, and I just keep feeding it by dropping in its own leaves. Got to get to the solar panels. Everything grew over it. I've got my roses winding around, so I'm going to have to change that and just, well, the bucket back there isn't getting a whole lot of sunlight. Look at that. My papaya is growing. My papaya. I'm hoping this makes it. Oh, I hope. I planted that last year. You can see it now. Look at that. It's in the pot there. And look at it here. And oh, I'm hoping it's going to shoot up and reach for the sun. And I might put another one in there because I have one more papaya that's actually growing on my deck. And I'm hoping to maybe move it somewhere. There I've got the fig tree. So that's going to fill in there. But there's no fig tree there. So that should work good. We'll see how time goes. This is the hummingbird's favorite flower. It's called Hummingbird's Lunch. They love that. And they're always foraging here. Just 2 seconds ago, I was sitting here having a sip of coffee before I continued on and before the weed whacker started. Hear him? Oh, he just shut it down. We'll hear him as we go. And this was covered in birds. This is their favorite place. And I talk about this so much. The zigzag branches from trees that we've used for, covering on the top. It may not look that great, but it is actually their favorite because hawks can't dive bomb and grab them. So they're completely safe in here. Well, as complete as that can be. Nothing's 100%. Got to clean up this corner, but I have tomatoes in there and they're going to try to grow more. Look at that. But there are tomatoes in there. Oh, so I can see tomatoes back there in the pot, but this has to be cleaned up. Things are still so full of water from all the rain we've gotten. Boy, we've got more rain than we have in the past 10 years in just a matter of, 2 months. So that's what's going on here. And I cleared all this up. And this is just some mint that's growing. And it will spread, but it's no big deal. For me, I like it. It throws purple flowers and the bees love it. And it looks nice. So I don't have a problem with growing a little bit of spearmint on the ground. Then my other water feature that the birds like, and this is the start where I grew the pride and joy. And I've been taking cuttings off of it. It's really hurting right now. The plant keeps breaking. It's full of powdery mildew from the cold, wet mornings. But see, now it's not purple. And then later it's going to turn purple, get a purple stripe. I have been doing cuttings. This has just been a phenomenal plant. Nothing that's come up from seed looks like that. And in the summer, the leaves get so big, they even get double the size that they are. So it's just really something. Nothing new on this side. Celery, just some other stuff. My lemon balm, this one died completely back. And I'll have to check it. If it's gone, I don't think it should be gone, but if it's gone, I'll just start more. See how this one's coming up? It probably needs to be separated, so we'll see. But I split it off last year, so I can just do that again. Again, nothing new there. So that's basically it. Let's go out. Isn't that gorgeous? The sun is so bright, but it is so pretty. This is one of my favorite places to sit. This is peaceful. Then you go sit in my kitchen, and the hummingbirds are screaming and making this. They're so cute, but you know, I've got two places. So this is peaceful, and then my hummingbirds are peaceful. But this is just so sweet. Oh, I'll tell you the story on the feeder. Watch for that video. I've got it ready. I was going to put it up today. I actually put it together last night, and I don't know if you're going to cry or laugh when you see it, but boy, it's coming. Check for it tomorrow if you see this video today, and it will just be, it's the nightmare. Don't ask what happened to that feeder I put up. Anyways, that's purple tree colored back there. Oh yeah, they're going to get louder and louder. They got a whole crew on the hillside. So that's all purple tree colored. Again, cuttings, and the best ones, the ones that took really good, are the ones that are still in pots. And then I've got one of my pride and joys here. Isn't that beautiful? I can't wait to do more cuttings on that. Then I've got a tomato plant here. So, and then I've got eggplant in there, but I think we picked all the eggplant, but the tomato plant's still growing. This one is sheltered so well from the tree colored. It must be giving off heat. And then all the leaves that go back in there might create enough heat for the base of this tomato plant to not freeze like all the other ones did. So it is going strong. And then I've got more stuff back there, which is, there's another pride and joy. Let's see if we can get over there real quick. Isn't that gorgeous? Look how straight the trunk is. And all the side shoots, I can take all the sides off. Look how gorgeous. Oh my gosh, look at the green on that. Just beautiful. And there's one, a branch broke. It's laying on the ground. I should get that one off. Oh my gosh, look at the size of these leaves. This is tree colored. Look at this. Look how big. We're gonna have to go quick because they're just gonna get louder and louder. But yeah, this is warm from this because the base of the plant, of this tomato plant, is way down there. So it doesn't get any, you know, cold wind chill blowing on it, wind, to make it feel colder. And so it stayed warm enough to give us tomatoes so far all winter. We're still in winter. We still have another month and a half. My papayas, got an idea on this. So we're gonna see what we'll do later on in the year. But look at that. They should be turning color soon because that is the size they are. This is a strawberry papaya grown from seed from the grocery store. And keep that in mind. If you want to grow papayas, you can use those seeds. As long as the fruit has not been irradiated, you can grow it. And this is not the way to grow it. So do not do what I do. Find a better place to grow it. This was being composted in that tote. And all the papayas started to grow and I left it. So boy, did I do it wrong. Okay, I have no complaints. We get tons of papayas off of this. I think it's funny. So right now I leave it because I think it's funny, but there's a better way of fixing that up. Just the corner here where I'm collecting leaves that I don't know what to do with, I let them rot. And then when I want to move them, I just go grab handfuls and start throwing them in totes and containers. Celery, this is just that purple, beautiful curly kale, isn't that? I think it's the Russian red, but it's so red I'm doing cuttings off of this. That's growing, and these totes are old too. Like the ones you saw back there, these are about 6 years old. You know, they might be 7, but let's say 6. They're going strong. And then there's a little one down there with celery, and then this moringa that needs to probably be trimmed back. But I love this. This is just, the coloring is gorgeous. Let's step out here. Look at that. That is rosemary. Look at the bees working them. Oh my gosh. It's warm enough for bees. It should be warm enough for me. Look at the bees working the flowers. Just think, years ago, I bought this at the 99-cent store in a little pot, and look how it's turned into a massive, beautiful plant. I bought a few of them, and then we kind of put them around, and they've just turned into beautiful plants. Look back there. I'm not sure what that is called, but it's a succulent type plant, and look at the flower it's throwing. I hope you can see it down there. It's massive. Citrus trees are doing real good. See, that's what I'm talking about, and that's what they're zipping on the hillside. All that greenery is going to be weed whacked down. Now, being there's an area where they don't want to spray up there, where you can hear the weed whackers, that is fantastic. But there are some people that spray it with weed killer, and then that drifts onto plants. It also hurts bees. So if the bees are coming, and the hummingbirds and other birds, if they spray that with weed killer and they feed on it immediately, a lot of them can be harmed because it takes time to dry and then kill all those plants. But most of the people, thank goodness, around me, they weed whack it down. It will grow back, but then as we go in the spring, their cycle is over and then it's done. But a lot of people want to spray it, and I'm against it, but there's nothing I can do. It's legal. Okay, some of the papayas we've lost, but you know what? We still have a couple of them, but I may grow more papayas and start fresh and maybe clean this up and do something different. And bottle brush. That's a bottle brush that grew in the front yard where we grow stuff too. And well, Gary found it, put it here quite a few years ago, and it's been going strong. Another plant that's nice for hummingbirds. Oh, look, new leaves on the bottom and new branches. And this one is called the Salvia Fire Dancer. So this is a nice plant. I want to get that in a pot. And that's it. Now we've made a circle. We're in the rainbow garden. I did not dig up my potato mint yet. Here's another sow thistle. This is the cycle of life on this one. The birds love this, and I'll have to clean this up. I haven't done anything because there's nothing to do here. I'm working on starting to pull things out. Like my daughter said, that's all she's doing is going through her garden. Anything that's dead, she is pulling out and dropping back in the totes. I told you the story on this. I would have had so many zinnias, but the deer came by and took all the flowers off. But look, they haven't come by for a while, so I've got new flowers that are going to start. Lettuce. Now this is good. This I did put here a little bit ago. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Got a couple lettuce in there, and I keep it covered. I definitely want to keep it covered so there's no white fly or any insects get to them. So I have lettuce anytime I want, and I can spot that in a tote or anywhere I want. Red vein sorrel. This is the pepino. I think we're pretty much done with it. I'm going to trim this back, do some more cuttings. I even have a pepper plant back here. And that should come back later on in the spring. This is potatoes growing in a small 3-gallon bucket. I think it's a 3-gallon. And then, of course, let's see what I've got here. My peppers that came up from the compost. This is a 2 system. It kind of started growing out of that. And then I guess this one's still alive too. But I may end up taking them out. See how droopy they are? It's not worth it. We'll see what happens. And then in here, just the same old, this tomato plant isn't really doing good. It's much better to take them out, compost them, and just keep going. And then this is where I'm doing a lot of cuttings, and I'm very happy with this. I'm still hoping that my sun gold cutting, you know, if I was smart, what I would do is take the tomatoes off, and I may do that a little bit later, because I want the plant to live. And that's important, because once the weather gets warm, I can get this in the ground. And that's an actual cutting from a sun gold. Tree collard. Here's the purple curly kale I've got growing in the other yard. Potato mint. There's some little cuttings in there. This has worked fantastic. Now, of course, if you're under snow, it won't stay warm enough, I don't think. Unless you put it up against the house, someplace where it's warm. Then I'm going to set up those. I've got a couple things in there, but not really much. Some geraniums in there. And that's it. Pizza garden is kind of looking sad because it's so cold. I'm going to trim the peppers all the way down, but we have gotten hundreds of peppers off of that. My thyme is doing good. It's doing quite well. I'll give that soon a good trimming. A tomato plant's in there. See all these leaves? Okay, it doesn't want to really, it does. See all that? That will all be taken off and composted. I'll leave that. The sage is doing good. I can't believe the basil lived all year. That's doing good. I've got whitefly down on the onions because it's so damp and cold. I'll probably just wash that off. I'll decide. I might put new onions in there. Those are walking onions. See this plant? It's got tomatoes left on it, but the plant is gone. Take all that out. I don't think I'm going to take it apart and refurbish it. I'll just reach in, pull some stuff out, and then put in fresh leaves and different things. Look at the rosemary cutting. Look how big this is. You know what? Maybe designate this bucket for rosemary and basil. Boy, it smells good on my hands. And then this one I'm going to set up soon. I just haven't been in a hurry. I've got garlic growing in this bucket and then another purple tree colored here. And that's it. You have seen it all. I'm going to let them do their weed whacking because it's just going to be too loud for me to try to talk. and I'm going to get some more stuff done. Like I said, what I'm doing you can't see because I'm literally going through and emptying out totes, like going through here and removing all the stuff I don't need. Get that out, trim things down. This needs a good trimming, and then I either put it in a bucket or even a flower pot that I might set up soon, and then just keep going. So it's kind of like a drop and chop. But that's because I'm doing that and there's not much planting going on, there's not much to see. Well, I'm hoping that the Cooper hawk finds a girlfriend and a mate and they have babies. I think they're a little late because usually they do start in January, but we'll see. He was actually in the nest the other day checking it out. So that's it. So with that, I'm going back to work in the garden. Don't forget to eat what you grow. And if you want, check out the video on what happened to that 99-cent store bird feeder. Oh my goodness. And the turmeric table, it is ready to harvest. I've actually harvested some already.